why I recommend All of Us Are Dead. Hello and welcome to this week's video. Now this week I wanted to talk about a TV show that I have just recently stumbled across and much to my own surprise absolutely loved. I'm talking about the Korean zombie horror apocalypse high school drama All of Us Are Dead, which is available to watch on Netflix, and I think you can also buy it on Blu-ray from overseas. You'll have to go on eBay to get it, as I indeed have. Now, I know what you're all thinking. Didn't you just do a video a couple of months ago about how you've dropped Netflix? Well, yes, I did. For a reasonable reason at the time. I hadn't actually watched it for a couple of months. But I decided to resubscribe a couple of weeks ago, mainly to catch the new season of The Blacklist without having to fuck about with Channel 7. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of The Blacklist, but I've been watching it since it started, so I might as well keep going now. And since I've got it, I'm seeing what else they've got on at the moment. And one of them was All of Us Are Dead. Now, I have to be honest, I wasn't expecting all that much. I mean, there were a couple of things that I watched. I started watching last year, a couple of like Korean stuff, and they're very well made. They're very impressively production values and stuff like that. There was one that I saw called Sweet Home, which was basically like it's similar kind of, not zombies but monsters and end of the world scenario with characters trapped in a apartment building. Now that had a very impressive start, and then it was 10 episodes long, and somewhere around halfway through the season I just completely lost interest. So add to that the fact that this was yet another zombie thing, and it's like, oh god, aren't zombies a little bit played out these days, especially these fast moving zombies that seem to be in everything? So I kind of went in with I'm not really expecting that much. And even though the first episode was good and I was very much interested in carrying on, I still had kind of am I going to lose interest halfway through the season? Well, I most certainly did not. In fact, I continued to grip me throughout the whole thing. The real key to it, of course, is the characters. You actually start to really care about and root for and invest in the characters. And of course, so many people, seemingly important characters as well, fall by the wayside during the course of the series because, they're in the middle of a fucking apocalypse. You're kept on tenterhooks, as hoping against hope that the characters you're most invested in are not going to end up zombie food. It's also got a villain character. I can't quite remember his name at the moment. You'll know who I mean if you've seen it. Who is just about the most despicable, disgusting and evil villain character I've seen in anything in quite some time, to the point that where you are wanting to reach into the screen and kill the bastard yourself. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed this from start to finish, and I was just really got invested in the characters, and particularly the relationship between Chang Sen and Ojo, these two high school students, kind of, they're neighbors and friends, and they've grown up next to each other, but he kind of has feelings for her that he's never quite let up on. And of course, I think this relationship, and of course all relationships and all the petty rivalries and jealousies are amplified to the extreme because of the extreme situation that these people are thrust into, and you don't get much more extreme than a zombie apocalypse. I was thinking in a way that this kind of trope, this kind of zombie apocalypse stuff, it's almost like the modern day equivalent of the kind of the 70s disaster movie, isn't it? Because it's essentially the same thing. When they're done well, it's about the characters, and it's about seeing how both the best and the worst in humanity is brought out by being stuck in these extreme situations. Do you go every man for himself? Do you have the guts to stand up and do what's right in a situation where you could lose your life at any second, or do you turn into a selfish bastard? You know, who and what do you really care about when it all comes down to it? But yeah, I thought this show was absolutely stunningly done. I mean, stunning production values, just really good acting from the young leads, really good writing. It's, you know, there's tons of action, there's tons of horror, and there's tons of heart, and it keeps you thoroughly gripped from beginning to end. By the end of the series, like I've said, I've ordered the Blu-ray. I know, I know. Why are you ordering the Blu-ray if you're on Netflix? Well, I'm not saying, who's saying I'm keeping Netflix? You know, I'll keep it while it interests me and then turn it off again. But I was thoroughly enamored by that show, and I have ordered the Blu-ray set because I think it's excellent. Now, apparently, I think they are doing a second season. That seems, I'm not sure how I feel about that, because it kind of seems like a story that was more or less complete by the end of the series. You know, the outbreak is basically contained by the end of the series. So, really, second season. On the other hand, I kind of want them to, because I kind of want to see more of these characters. You know. On the other hand, it's like, if you kill off a certain character, I am fucking out. I'm just saying. You better freaking not do that in season 2, or I will not be happy. But yeah, I'm interested, because this is certainly the best modern TV show that I have seen in a long while. It's certainly better than anything the UK or the US have been pumping out for the last few years, frankly. I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed All of Us Are Dead from start to finish, and I wholeheartedly recommend it.